And we are back, Mrs. and Mr. YouTube. How are we today? Yeah, can't hear you. So, what's today's plan? Today's plan is to talk about some Minecraft. Once again, Minecraft. What a crucial topic. Let's not talk about anything. Today is the ultimate FPS guide in 2020. Thanks to coronavirus, we're all stuck in trying to find a way to live. So, I'll show you some tips and tricks. Optimize the game here and there, make it a little bit more prettier. I'm already here in game. Let's just sacrifice the stuff because I don't need it, and let's get started. So pretty much the first thing you're going to do, make sure you have Optifine installed. If you don't have Optifine installed, you're not going to be able to get anywhere with this, because the only way to access these options are through Optifine. So I'll put a link in the description below for Optifine. Go into video settings. Remember, I don't play Minecraft with regular texture packs anymore. That will be, I believe, probably the following video. And just make sure you go to shaders. Right now we're using SUSE PTGI E12. E13 is in development right now. And basically the first options you would go into would probably be the shader options. Shaders consume quite the resources. So first thing you do is ray tracing options. Right now, full ray trace reflections are on. Even it says right here, this can cause big slowdowns with lots of semi-rough surfaces. And also, it can cause big slowdowns with not as powerful computers, but which is fine. I'm gonna tell you how to make it more compatible. Right now, I'm getting about 70 frames per second. That's just with the shaders on. If you really want to save battery, just turn this off, and screen space time, turn it off. This doesn't really matter. This should be off too. The glowing is not a big deal. And you should gain some frames for there. Maybe 1 frame for that. It's awesome. And again, ray tracing is not really being reflected. It's just the sun doing its thing. So it's not a big deal right now. Let's go back into the options. Video settings. So this is where it gets a little bit more fancy. Fast, lower quality, faster, right? Depends what you want. You want it to look better, or do you want it to look a little bit? Really, just changes the appearance of clouds, leaves, and water, right? So it's not really a big deal. When you get SUSE PTGI installed, the shader, it will probably, like, the water is going to be reflective. So, oh, that's a bug. I've never actually noticed that. Wow. Anyways, so yeah, that's not a big deal. I would just keep it like in fast if you want to get the most frames per second. Smooth lighting is pretty much like blocks, and like you gain some shadows in the edges of the blocks. Some of these shadows are created by it. It's not a big deal. You can take them off. You might gain a couple frames per second, but not a big deal, so that's fine. Depends how much darkness you want to add. With this, you're going to be able to do it. I just leave it at 50%. The GUI scale is to move this a couple times. Well, depends on how bright you want the game. So dynamic light is pretty much when you throw a, for example, the lantern over there, or redstone torch. If you place it down, it shows how much like the light is emitted. Let's see if I can show you real quick. Yeah, like that. That's dynamic lights. So I don't know if I have them. Okay, so that's, so I guess more in detail, which is strange. Yeah, I can't tell the difference. Just keep that off. Shaders we already did. Details, clouds. So the regular clouds and without the shader pack, they usually suck. So I just turn them off. With this one, I like. They look way more realistic. Off, so the shader can actually show these like clouds. If you take off the shader, the clouds will be off. So there's that. Trees. Okay, so with the shader pack, it does make a difference, because the trees aren't actually going to look in good quality. You'll see what I mean. Just plant the tree here. Let's go acacia, bone meal, and then boom, whenever you want. There you go. Alright, so that's where is it? That's smart trees. That's fancy. Just has a little bit more lighting. Not a big deal. I wouldn't really. It doesn't really damage performance, so either way works. I just like it smart, but it's fine. Sky, if you're using regular texture packs, I turned that off. If you're using this one, I turn it on so it can merge properly. Sun and moon, leave it on. I don't like fog. I keep this default. None of these matter. None of these three matter. Animations, they remove quite a bit of FPS, but not a big deal. Let me see if it makes a difference. Not really. I just leave it in decreased. So the biggest thing that does impact performance, probably render distance. I would probably keep it at 12 or 8. Yeah, between 8 and 12 is pretty good. Next thing would be bobbing, is like when you like walk, you walk like this. I don't know why I have that on. Max frame, I keep it up. If not, it's gonna like limit your frames per second to the monitor screen. So I just keep it locked, unlocked. Quality, mid-lap levels doesn't do anything, and filtering, anti-aliasing, and anisotropic filtering, keep them off. Not a big deal. Better grass, it's fine. None of these really consume any things, any problem, like any FPS, so that should be fine. If you use smooth FPS, it like stabilizes, so you drop a couple. Depends on the game you like, on the PC you're on, but it can drop quite a bit of frames per second. I suggest it's going to be more stable though. It's not going to be like 80 to 50, 80. So if you have quite a powerful card, I'd keep it on personally. But it's really up to you. This is not available with shaders, so don't worry about it. If you're if you're not using shaders, then I would turn it off. And that's pretty much how you optimize this, for the best frames per second as of 2020. In my next video, I will probably show you how to make your game like this. It is quite beautiful, my friends. So we'll keep in touch until next video, and we'll go from there. I'll teach you on the next tutorial on tagging attacks.